Hello, everybody, and thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here with you today. As Bree said, my name is Devii Rao. I'm a Livestock and Natural Resources Advisor with UC Cooperative Extension, but I'm also the treasurer for CalPAC, which is the California Pacific section of the Society for Range Management. And CalPAC is basically the professional society for range managers here in our state. And each year, CalPAC hosts two meetings. We have a fall meeting and a spring tour. And in addition to those meetings, we also do awards. And so today, I, along with Carminder Brown, will be presenting CalPAC's Excellence in Range Management Award. The Excellence in Range Management Award is given each year to a rancher who is committed to rangeland stewardship, who contributes to the advancement of range management off the ranch by participating in outside associations and trainings, and people who develop creative solutions to rangeland management challenges. So I have to say I'm thrilled today to present this award to the Schmidt family ranch. And I want to talk a little bit about the Schmidt family. The Schmidt cousins own 3 ranches in San Benito County, covering 6,800 acres. The ranches are the Bear Valley Ranch, the Horse Valley Ranch, and the Peterson. The family has been in business on these same ranches since the 1880s, making the current ranch owners fourth and fifth generation ranchers. The family, the Schmidt cousins and the Peterson Land and Cattle Company represent a pretty complex family arrangement, which is really interesting. And I want to explain that a little bit to you guys because it falls into part of why we chose them for this award. So all 3 ranches are owned by the 6 Schmidt cousins and their families. It includes 3 members of the Jeff Schmidt family and 3 members from the Stan Schmidt family. All ranch decisions are made jointly by the 6 cousins and their families, even though most of the cousins live in Santa Clara or Monterey County. Kathy Spencer and her husband Joe live on the Bear Valley Ranch, and Kathy's brother Brian Schmidt and his wife Tina recently moved back to San Benito County. So there are 2 families who currently live within the county and on or near the ranch itself. Separate from the ranch ownership, the 3 Jeff Schmidt kids and their spouses own and run the Peterson Land and Cattle Company, which rents the Bear Valley, Horse Valley, and Peterson properties for their grass-fed cow operation. And that operation is also certified natural. The long-term goal that the Schmidt cousins have for the ranch is to basically maintain the ranch as a whole and not have it subdivided so that future generations of their family can continue the ranching lifestyle, traditions, and land stewardship. So the Schmidt cousins have undertaken 2 really critical, well, many steps, but 2 critical steps to ensure the long-term conservation of their ranch. They've enrolled in the Williamson Act, and they've done some significant estate planning. So the Williamson Act reduces the tax rate on the land so that landowners have agreed not to develop for the next 10 years. The 10-year contract is renewed each year, and under the Williamson Act, the ranch will remain whole. Also, the estate planning has been really critical for the conservation of their ranch because the careful planning that they've done, because of the careful planning they've done, the ranch can be passed down to the next generation, avoiding high estate taxes, subdivision, or sale into smaller parcels. So that was just a little bit of background about the family and how they operate as a large family unit to keep the ranch whole and to allow conservation of that land in the long term. I'd now like to ask Carminder Brown to say a few words about some of the specific natural resources conservation practices that the family has done over the years and some of their participation in various conservation organizations. So I know Carminder was having some internet problems, but I'm hoping she is on the call at this point. Carminder, were you able to make it on the call?
I'm here. She's on. You're a little bit quiet, Carminder.
I'll speak up then. Maybe just my laptop. Can you hear me now? Hi, Bree.
A little better.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carminder. I coordinate the San Benito Working Landscapes Group, which is a local network for rangeland conservation. How's the volume there? Is it better?
Good now.
And I want to especially say hello and congratulations to the Schmidt family. I'm super excited to help present this award today to the Schmidt cousins and also to the Peterson Land and Cattle Company. I've had the privilege of working with some members of the Schmidt family for about 9 years now through the Working Landscapes Group primarily. I know Kathy and her husband Joe the best since they live in San Benito County, but I wanted to make the point that in every conversation that I've had with Kathy over the years, she always emphasizes that every decision made and every activity undertaken on all 3 Schmidt family ranches is a joint effort with her and all of her cousins. And I really believe that it's that commitment that they have to shared responsibility across counties and across generations that has led to their success with a pretty complex ownership structure and ambitious conservation goals on the land. So there's not really much time here to cover all of this family's contributions to rangeland conservation, but I want to share a few highlights. In terms of conservation partnerships, the Schmidt cousins have worked with NRCS since 1995, as well as with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Partners for Wildlife Program, Pinnacles National Park biologists, and many others. Through NRCS EQIP, they installed extensive livestock water and fencing projects to improve livestock distribution throughout the ranches and improve soil quality, water quality, and native plant habitat. And then later with NRCS CSP funding, they implemented many other conservation practices, including wildlife escape ramps for troughs and restoration of oak trees, native grasses, and shrubs. They provide additional water for wildlife through guzzlers for quail, doves, and deer. And this family has pursued a special passion for oak restoration since the 1980s. That's been spearheaded by cousin Rick Schmidt, who I believe is going to say a few words later on. But in a nod to how, just one example of how this family comes together across distances for conservation on their ranches, I just want to mention that when the CSP oak planting was installed in 2010, Rick and his sister Janice and Rick's wife Stacy hand watered the acorns in 137 tree shelters in 3 different groves spread over 2 ranches throughout the 3 years of the severe drought that followed 2011 to 2014. And I've seen with my own eyes that they have surviving oak trees to show for it. And just a reminder that these are not the cousins that live on or near the ranch. So really strong commitment to conservation from all the cousins. In the case of innovation, in both the restoration plantings and the wildlife-friendly livestock troughs, one thing that I've always appreciated about the Schmidt cousins is that they work with agencies and conservation organizations to get support for their practices, but then they adapt the information and tools provided by those partners to meet their own specific needs on the ranch. And then once they've tinkered with those practices and got them to fit their needs better, they turn around and share their successes as well as the things that don't work so well with their neighbors and with the regional conservation partners. And in that way, I feel like they're always moving forward the conversation about these practices on the land. I'm probably running out of time, but I wanted to say a couple words too about community engagement, because that has been another really incredible contribution of this family to rangeland conservation, both locally and I think throughout the region. And it's a 2-way engagement. The first way is that Kathy in particular participates in conservation-related forums through networks like the San Benito Working Landscapes Group, and the Pajaro Compass Network is another one. She participates regularly. She doesn't hold back in terms of telling it like it is. And in that way, she really helps educate agencies and conservation groups and members of the public sometimes about the challenges that ranchers face and also their important role in stewardship. And in turn, the Schmidt family, by attending these events and participating in these various forums, gathers information about conservation opportunities, and then they turn it around and share it with their neighbors in our local community. And I just personally want to express my gratitude, especially to Kathy for her unflinching participation in all these forums over the years. And I really credit the success of our local Working Lands group in great part to her involvement and her commitment and her valuable insights. And the Schmidt family has hosted numerous different events and participated as speakers, also in rancher workshops and meetings throughout the region. And they have also reached out to the Amamutsan tribal band and invited them to tour two of their ranches, which contain cultural sites and artifacts. And lastly, I just want to mention that they, in the marketing of their grass-fed beef, in a very personal direct-to-consumer way, they help educate their customers about the realities of ranching and why people should care about where their food comes from. So with that, I'll just say congratulations to the family for keeping the 3 ranches intact and healthy for future generations of your family. And thank you from all of us who also benefit from your dedication to land stewardship. Well done.
Yay. Thank you, Carminder. And thank you so much to the Schmidt family. I forgot to mention, I've got a few photos that hopefully you're seeing as a slideshow of the Schmidt family ranch and some of the family members doing their work on the ranch. And I also, Kathy or Rick or any of the other Schmidt cousins, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and or turn on your video. If you want to say a few words, I think there's a few minutes left for you guys as well. We'd love to hear from you. Congratulations and thank you so much for all your hard work. I think Kathy and Rick are probably wanting to try to unmute themselves right now. So they're probably, hopefully we'll hear from them in just a second.
I think you're on mute, Kathy.
Oh, there you go. We can hear you, Rick.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can go ahead while Kathy figures out the microphone. But not only is it just the owners and the cousins, but it's our spouses, it's friends, and it's family that I would like to give thanks to. Extended family, second cousins, we've all kind of grown up together. Without their help, there's a lot of these projects that probably wouldn't have been completed. So it's kind of a true family effort outside of just us cousins. And I'm honored to have, for us to be awarded this, to be awarded something that we all feel very passionate about. You mentioned the oak trees. That's something that I've been passionate about personally, and the rest of our family also for a long time, having grown up seeing the mortars and pestles and the acorns in Horse Valley and a lot of the valley oaks disappearing. I wanted to restore the valley oaks in the riparian areas, and it's some of the trees now are 30 feet tall. So it's just seeing that as reward, but getting this award is icing on the cake. So thank you very much. Kathy? On mute. You're on mute.
Teresa, can you try to unmute Kathy?
No, I can't. I can mute her, but I cannot unmute her. I can ask. It's down on the lower right, left-hand side is where the microphone is.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that unmuted?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't have it for a while. Am I there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to thank you guys for nominating us and the time that you put in making out all those pages of stuff that you had to do. And you, Carminder and Devii and Lisa all worked on those papers to get us in. Is that one of the things that I need to tell you a little history is the fact that my father died in 1991, and we had dropped literally in our lap property to do something with. And at the same time, my uncle Stan was turning his property over, deeding his property over to his kids. So the first thing that we did is we got together as a group and we talked. And that's really important to communicate. And we set our goal that we would not sell the ranch and we'd keep it for the future. And it was something that we all agreed on, which was very important. And we also agreed not to go too fast, to see how things would work out. To begin with, my cousins had the cattle, but because they were all more involved in they're younger and were more involved in going to school and all that kind of stuff, is that's what led to us doing the Peterson Land and Cattle Company with just my 3 siblings, because we're older. But over the years, I just realized that we've been together 29 years as a group. And over the years, it takes time that we build trust with one another. And we do that a lot by working together on these projects like Rick was talking about. And we also do it by just having fun. We just stop to have fun. As a matter of fact, we often say that we party too much. If you get a couple of us together, we have a party. But I mean, we really enjoy ourselves. We enjoy each other. And, you know, it works. So if there's anybody else on to talk, did anybody else come on?
I think
Brian
it's
and Tina are
just
there.
us and you, Kathy.
Huh?
I think it's just you and us.
Oh, just you and us?
Yeah.
Happy, it's Tina.
Oh, Tina's there. Okay.
What you said, it's all good. We're just a great, fabulous family that does wonderful things to try and save our environment. And I think that you earned it, Kath, and so did you, Rick, and we all did.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Nice to say.
Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you.